We're going to call this meeting to order at 6:37 p.m. on Monday. Can you believe it's October? My goodness. Halloween, though, that's fun. Anyway, we're going to start tonight's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. We're very pleased to have once again one of our proud veterans, Matthew Jackson, Army National Guard, Major Conduct. Excuse me, guys. I think I'm going to read this now. Let's get a little bio on this wonderful man here. Army National Guard, Major Matt Jackson, Combined Arms Aviation Officer and UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter pilot and 2002 graduate of the University of La Verne, where he played both football and baseball from 1998 to 2002. Round of applause for that one, guys. Come on. Matt is a 25-year veteran of the U.S. Army, California Army National Guard, including 3 overseas deployments to the Middle East in support of the global war on terror. Operations Iraqi Freedom, New Dawn, Spartan Shield, and Inherent Resolve, as well as multiple stateside emergencies in support of Cal OES and Cal Fire. Matt's awards and decorations include the Senior Army Aviator Badge, 4 Meritorious Service Medals, the Air Medal, 2 Army Commendation Medals, 2 Army Achievement Medals, Humanitarian Service Medal, Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, and Iraq Campaign Medal with Bronze Star. Matt is a life member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars VFW Anaheim Post 3173. Matt is a lifelong resident of the City of Orange, lives with his wife of 17 years, Amy, and their 3 children, Jared 16, Charlie 14, and Sonia 8. Matt continues to work on active duty full-time for the California Army National Guard at Joint Forces Training Base, Los Alamitos, as the full-time battalion officer in charge of the 140th Assault Helicopter Battalion. Matt will be retiring from the Army this coming April after 26 years of service. I think I stand on that. Major Jackson, come on up if you'd lead us, please, in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for that warm introduction. Really appreciate it.
Welcome to our house.
Thank you for your service.
It's good to be back in La Verne. Thank you for already standing. Please, all veterans, current service members, first responders, and law enforcement officers, please render a hand salute and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hold on 1 second, Major Jackson. Hold on 1 second, brother. Fellow General Officer. As a fellow General Officer and prior enlisted, most of you don't know that also Major Jackson is also a prior enlisted, just like me. So I know how that goes really very well. And one thing I also want to thank your family. I love your spouse and kids. I know that when we serve and we leave our family, we leave our spouse behind to take on the house, all the chores, and everything else. And as a city, I wanted to thank you, and as a country, we appreciate your service as well. That is not forgotten. I know what it's like to call home from overseas and just want you to know we're okay. I know that, brother. I know that very well. So God bless you and the family. And I wish you nothing but the best in retirement. Another story I shared with Major Jackson is that when he commissioned, he gave his salute to his father. And that is something that I'm looking forward to so much. And only you know that feeling. I'm looking forward to seeing that feeling when I salute my son. Or he doesn't have to salute me. He doesn't have to salute me, right? As general officer, and then I can retire. So that was an amazing opportunity to have with your father. God bless you in the future. Continue to do good and stay Army strong, brother.
Appreciate it.
The City of La Verne certificate of recognition presented to Matthew Jackson. This certificate is presented on behalf of the La Verne City Council to Army National Guard Major Matthew Jackson with sincere gratitude and appreciation for his dedicated service to our country. God bless you and God bless your families.
Family.
Yeah, please.
Family. Come on, bring your family
Come
up.
on, kiddos.
That's an order.
Change of command ceremonies, come on, no difference.
Hurry.
No difference, come on up.
Warehouse is only open for a little bit longer. We don't want Kenny shutting the door on us.
We'll call ahead. Commander Phil, thank you again.
Commander, always good to see you, brother. Armstrong.
Thanks so much for your support, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good. Well, I guess we could do roll call while we're here, right? Let's do it. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you again for serving. Thank you, Mr. Ramirez, thank you.
All right, roll call will be Councilmember Crosby.
Here.
Councilmember Kashmagita.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lau.
Present.
Mayor Hepburn.
Here. With that, tonight we have two presentations. First is a presentation recognizing 13-year-old Kennedy, Kenadie Kelly, for her, I love that, I'm just telling you. I know it's hard to get placards from Disneyland with that on it, but you know, you have to talk to your mom about that. So, for her donations and community service in helping the La Verne Canine Foundation and other animal shelters. Kennedy, come on up. You guys can come over here too, come on.
Ready, here we go.
Go.
Hi, Danny, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for coming.
I started trying to not embarrass you, but thank you for what you've done. So this is an embarrassment. We really appreciate what you've done. Kennedy Kelly is a 13-year-old student at Ramona Middle School who is being honored for her dedicated service to our four-legged friends. Over the last 4 to 5 years, Kennedy has donated proceeds from her Girl Scout cookie money to local shelters in La Verne and neighboring cities. She additionally creates bookmarks, sea glass jewelry, providing 100% of her sales to shelters. Kennedy has donated over $5,000 in the past few years to various shelters and recently donated $250 to the La Verne Canine Police Foundation. Congratulations. City of La Verne Certificate of Recognition presented to Kennedy Kelly. This certificate is presented on behalf of the La Verne City Council. Thank you for serving our community with donations to local animal shelters and the La Verne Canine Foundation. Your generosity inspires us all. Thank you very much.
You gotta give a speech.
30 minutes. Thank you very much. Congratulations, and thank you again.
Family picture.
Oh, you guys want to get a picture?
Yeah, get up there. Come on, get him. Come on.
Yes.
She'll get a picture. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Chief, did you want to say something?
Come on up.
You said it already. Thank you for all you do and all your commitment to your cause. It's a great cause. So.
Thank you.
Do you want,
Thank you, Chief.
Kennedy wanted to just tell you that she will be at the Heritage Park
Oh, you're going to be at the Heritage Park on the fair day?
on this Saturday for the,
Oh,
the fall fair.
the fall fair.
She'll be a vendor there, so.
Very good.
Who wants to come out? Alright, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Now we move to our second presentation by Holly Savage, the Holly Savage, La Verne Police and Community Services Supervisor on their patch project. Please join us, Holly.
Thank you. I'm not used to being on this side, this is very rare.
I like it.
All right. So I have a little slideshow that's gonna go with it, thank you. Oh, this one. All right, so good evening, Mayor, council members, and city manager. As you know, October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm here to talk about the Pink Patch Project. This initiative is a vital part of our community, aiming to raise awareness, support, and more importantly, funds for breast cancer research. The Pink Patch Project represents a partnership between law enforcement agencies and the communities that they serve. Throughout October, officers will have the option to wear a specially designed pink patch to remind everyone of the importance of regular self-checks, annual mammograms, and early detection, which can save lives. All right, so in the United States, breast cancer stands as the most prevalent cancer among women. In 2022, approximately 287,850 new cases of invasive breast cancer were diagnosed. It's estimated that this number will rise in 2023 to 297,790. 1 in 8 women will face invasive breast cancer in their lifetime. However, it's important to remember that these are not statistics, these are not just figures. They represent individuals with faces and names. They are our mothers, our sisters, daughters, friends, and community members. Many of our residents, friends, and families have been directly impacted by this horrific disease. So in 2015, then Chief of the Irwindale Police Department, Tony Miranda, sat in his office having a conversation with his records clerk, Norma. Norma was explaining to him her own mother's struggle with breast cancer. Chief Miranda felt compelled to act. He wanted to help. He remembered that in 2013, the Seal Beach Department had created a pink version of their patrol patch and sold it to raise money for breast cancer. That year, he took that idea to the LA County Chiefs Association and proposed the Pink Patch Project. That year, 25 agencies joined him in that initiative, raising over $20,000 for the City of Hope, the founding beneficiary of the project. What started as a grassroots effort in Irwindale in 2015 has now grown to encompass over 886 agencies across the United States and Europe who will proudly participate in 2023. The $20,000 that was donated to the City of Hope in 2015 has increased exponentially, with $255,000 donated in 2021. The project itself has seen over 900,000 patches sold, with over $1,655,000 donated to various organizations across the United States and Europe. So in 2016, the La Verne Police Department, under the leadership of then Chief Scott Pickwick, joined the project and introduced a pink version of our current patrol patch. Over the years, our pink patch features have included a throwback to our 1951 patrol patch in 2017. In 2018, we featured the Pride of La Verne roses. In 2019, we featured the artwork that's on the side of the Coles building. We'd like to thank thanks to the support and donations from our incredible community members, we have raised $24,536.93 for breast cancer research at the City of Hope since our participation began. Here are just a few of our photos from highlights, from the kickoff photo shoots, check presentations, and some of the events that we've participated in. So we encourage everyone to get involved in the Pink Patch Project. And you can show your support by purchasing pink patches or pink patch merchandise. Patches are available at the Public Safety Building Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They're $10 each, and we take cash only, sorry. You can also participate by attending one of our upcoming fundraisers. This year we have partnered with 3 of our restaurants, Red Devil, Mi Ranchito, and Panera. I've included flyers for each of these events. They're on the table over there. And then they'll also be on our social media. With each of the events, you do have to show the flyer, so you can either have the physical flyer or the digital image on our social media. And we encourage you to spread awareness to your loved ones. Encourage them to undergo screening, as it could save a life. Together, we can truly make a difference. And lastly, I'd like to take a moment to express my gratitude to Acting Chief Gonzalez, Chief Flores, and retired Chiefs Paz and Pickwick for their unwavering support in our ongoing participation in the project. And thank you to the countless community members who have attended our fundraisers and purchased our patches and merchandise year after year. We're immensely grateful for their support, as well as that of our community partners, Joey and Elise at Red Devil and Patricia at Mi Ranchito, who have hosted annual fundraisers for us. Their support has been absolutely invaluable. Thank you again for allowing me this time and for your continued support of our paint patch project, and I have a patch for each of you.
Only if you give the $10.
I do.
I'd love to know,
Thank you.
I'd love to know this amazing year's path. Let's see, Bonita, F Street.
I got us. That's another good. I got us.
Thank you, Mayor. See, this is how you get money out of council.
Make it happen.
Thank you.
Sell somebody right now. That's so awesome.
Thank you, Holly, very much. I appreciate that. And don't forget, what's tomorrow night? Pizza with a Purpose, Red Devil.
Let's go.
When they open till they close, bring the flyer. Then it's Mi Ranchito, Tacos for Hope, October 19th. These will all be posted on the website. 4 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. and then Panera, October 24th, 4 o'clock to 8 p.m. So let's make sure it's a success. Plus the food's great there anyway too, so there you go. We have announcements of upcoming community events. I'd first like to call up Andy Glaze from the Lerne Firefighters Association for a talk about events. Campaign to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month during October. Mr. Glaze,
Hi.
welcome.
Thank you.
Also, see there.
I'm gonna just put this up right there.
For the record, firefighter Blaze, an amazing athlete.
Yes, he is,
Number 11.
the last race was number 11.
Yes.
Yes.
100 miles, firefighter.
100 miles.
Oh,
Yeah.
miles.
Finished yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name's Andy Glaze, as they just stated, and I'm the president of the La Verne Firefighters Association. Great presentation by Holly. I'm just going to say ditto on a lot of that. But October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and all month long, your La Verne firefighters will be wearing these on-duty breast cancer awareness shirts. You unfortunately can't buy those, but we do have these ones for sale. It's on our website. You can see a better picture. But we wanted to come talk about them. We also have these. There's no camera, huh? Well, I have it on you guys.
Right there.
Well, I'll show you guys. So, T-shirt and stickers. The T-shirts are $20. The stickers are $5. Oh, there we go. You're gonna get one anyways, but yeah, you can hold it up. Perfect, thank you. So $20 for the shirt, $5 for the sticker. We have all the sizes and everything we have online. The quantities are limited, and all the proceeds will be donated along with an additional donation from the Firefighters Association. So we've done this for many years. We make a shirt, we do a walk, and then we donate the money to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. We'll also be selling these at the Public Safety Open House and Touch a Truck on October 21st, which please put that on your calendar. That's between 9 and 1 p.m. At the Public Safety Building, 2061 3rd Street. It's going to be a lot of fun, so definitely check that out. And I wanted to present the City Council with a shirt and a sticker, which I'll do at the end, but I also just, as an off-topic side note, I wanted to let the community know and you all know that the reason I have this terrible mustache is because we are having a mustache growing contest at the fire department. So,
Oh, that's what that is?
yes, it's best and worst mustache, so it's a double competition. So, you know, I might be in the running for both, I don't know. So don't judge us when you see us around with little wispy or thick mustaches. we're eventually we'll be raising money for prostate cancer awareness, which is Movember and November, but we also do Stashtober in October. So 2 months of mustaches, and yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Got it.
Thank you, Andy, appreciate that. Here's some money, here's some money in the top. Andy.
No.
No, wait, no.
Let's see, what's
Yeah,
this?
nothing's free. We pay for everything. No, thank you
And
though.
let us know when that walk is, because I'll
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
And we'll have fun.
If these aren't your guys' right sizes, you can come by Station 1 and I'll give you whatever you
Is
need.
there a medium for me?
The medium. Your body building. Take this, Andy.
Thank you.
Oh, we guessed on sizes, but, and then there should be 6 stickers to get passed out.
Yeah.
All right,
I think we're good.
thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Anyone else want to get a stand?
Okay, we're gonna now, we have a couple speaker cards here. Ms. Best, announcements. This is announcement, this is not public comment, but these are announcements.
This is an announcement.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
I'm Sherry Best, President of the La Verne Historical Society, and I'm very proud to announce that last Saturday, the La Verne team, the La Verne History Buffs, not in the buff.
Bring here.
Yes, the La Verne History Buffs, not in the buff, won the first annual San Dimas and La Verne Seroptimus City Trivia Championship. Ta-da. And at that time, only 2 of our 4 members were present on the team. So Bill Lemon and I killed it. Very pleased about that. Now, do not forget, this Saturday, we are screening Uncle Sam at the University of La Verne Arts and Communication Building on C Street. Look for the La Verne table outside and be waving people and saying, this is the place. It's free. On Monday, October the 9th, we'll be meeting at 7 p.m. at Hillcrest for a presentation called Race and Place. This should be a very interesting, interactive presentation looking at La Verne's history. And finally, just this afternoon, we got the truck running.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes?
No oil leaks?
No, fixed.
Does it move?
No fixed, it moves. The truck made it through my driveway, out onto the
Not
street.
through the garage,
No,
the other way.
up the street, turned around in the cul-de-sac, and came back down the street and back into my driveway. So we had our first little run, and we will be at the trunk or treat on the 14th of October. So anyhow, look for us. We'll be looking for all of you. I'll pass this around.
Congratulations on your trivia
Thank
win.
you.
Yep.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't you submit the questions?
I did. I did submit the questions.
Hence the name Ringer.
On the other hand, I don't think San Dimas submitted as many questions. And they did kind of horse the questions around, but Bill and I had it. We had it.
Yvonne Gallegos, come on up. Oh, that's cool.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Run by Folks College Green. I do have 2 announcements. Our monthly cafe meeting is being held on Wednesday, 5 p.m. The Citrus Room over at Hillcrest. We're really honored to have the new president of the University of La Verne, Dr. Parvis Maldavi, is going to be our guest speaker on Wednesday. So, yeah, everybody's invited, and if you'd like to come in and hear her speak and talk about all the great things that she's going to be doing at the university, everyone's more than welcome. Secondly, Cassie will also be sponsoring, along with our Compassionate La Verne charter, the beautification Beautification Day, La Verne Beautification Day, so we did do this earlier in September, but we are now going to do it again on October 21st. So that's La Verne Beautification Day. If anybody missed that from earlier in September, we just gave everybody the opportunity to go ahead and choose a spot within the city to pick up trash. I did that walking my dogs, took a trash bag with me, and as I walked my dogs, picked up trash along White. And then in the evening, I did that over on Foothill. So we are inviting all the community members to participate in this day, La Verne Beautification Day. Details are coming soon, just save the date, October 21st, and we'll be organizing, where, and identifying more parts of the city that need some attention, a little bit more attention, and we'll be, coordinating groups of people to go out and take care of that part of the city, or again, just you're a part of the city if you're walking your dogs or taking a stroll, take a trash bag with you and help clean up some of our streets. October 21st.
What day was that again?
October 21st.
Okay, just checking.
That is a Saturday, and we're looking around maybe about 4 to 6 p.m. that we will all get together and do this.
Now remember, on October 21st is a public safety open house from 9 a.m.
Yes.
And there's also the Pumpkin Patch Car Show from 10 a.m. at Heritage Park. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe wrap it around in those areas there somewhere,
It's
It's a fun-filled day.
It's a day of fun activities.
There you
Sure,
go.
I'm well aware. I'm well aware of all the activities that are going on that day.
There's a lot October, but that's great.
Is there a when and where?
We want to put this out as save the date. We were thinking of different ideas as far as like meeting at different places, right? Different groups of people, at different parks, maybe starting there. I think, like I said, I identified somewhere close to me that I could walk and go and pick up trash. Thomas Allison had identified a place and he went out and picked up trash on Foothill Boulevard. So we are working out the details, that I invite anybody who's interested in participating and coordinating with us on that day to send an email to cassie.laverne@gmail.com. Ooh, also that reminds me, Cassie does have a new website. We're totally excited about it. So if you want to go and visit our new website, it is cassie-laverne.org. So now it's more consistent with all of our social media being Cassie Laverne. It's a really great website. It has a couple of approvals already from the audience. Okay.
Right.
So
if you could have something back to us, if you've got some kind of a organization on that
Yes.
at our next October 16th meeting,
Absolutely.
that'd be great. Then let us know what's going on.
Yeah, even for that, Dr.
Okay.
Allison and I are working on that as we speak.
Okay,
All
very
right.
good.
Thank
Thank you. Anybody else on announcements? Just a real quick one here. October is an amazingly packed month, just besides Halloween, but we've got the big one this coming Saturday, is the 4th annual vendor fair up at Heritage Park, starts at 10 a.m. I think people need to know about that. All of these items are on our agenda packet now, as what's going on in the community at the end. So just pay close attention to that, and also on our website. I'll be doing some minute with the mayor and just other stuff on this, but these things are really, really, really fun things to go to. But that's just one of many. We have active transportation, planning commission meeting. Saturday, October 14th, which is the big one, is the trunk or treat here in the parking lot over in the community center. So there's just a lot of stuff. So we'll be posting this stuff, but make sure you look at the agenda to make sure to see what's going on in our city. With that, no other announcements. Prior to moving on to the consent calendar, on Thursday, September 28th, we held a special closed session meeting regarding initiating litigation. As a result of the meeting, we have a report out, but I wanted to make sure that the city attorney once again reported out the action from that meeting in front of all of you. Madam City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to be clear, this was reported out after the special closed meeting. I am repeating it for the benefit of the public to ensure that everyone gets the word. The special closed session meeting considered whether or not the council would join in litigation that was filed last Friday. The lead plaintiff in the case is the city of Whittier. 12 cities, including the city of La Verne, have filed a lawsuit against the Los Angeles Superior Court to stop implementation of the 2023 bail schedules, primarily related to the issue of zero cash bail for a variety of offenses, including repeat offenses, and no backup plan, if you will. Under the prior law, the people could be held if they were committed a crime while they were out on cash bail or zero cash bail on another charge. That provision is no longer in the bail schedule as adopted. The motion was made by Councilmember Crosby, and it was seconded by Councilmember Cashelvita. That was approved on a 5-0 vote by the City Council. As I said, that case was filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court. It's case number 23-STCP-03579. And as of this afternoon, an order to transfer the case to another county was issued. We believe it will be transferred to Orange County through a cooperative agreement. That does seem to be the most convenient court for all the parties in the matter. So that's my report out. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for that.
I want to thank Attorney Barlow, but also I was at the sanitation district meeting, and one of the council members in Whittier mentioned, can we please get a hold of our city manager because this was happening, and it was happening fast order. So if you open that up and you read exactly what that bail change was, the no bail, it's egregious and heinous. And I don't know how this happened. I mean, obviously they're trying to take away all the rights and no incarceration, but John and Ken had it on it today, and they were all over it. But I think what's going to happen now is we're going to have a lot of cities jump on board, hopefully, which I think they are, because this is just one of those things that we need to stop, and we need to stop it now, because this is going to affect every single one of us in not a good way at all. And I thank you, Attorney Barlow, and also our city manager, and also the city of Whittier for putting this on. The city of Whittier manager, not manager, but mayor was on talking about what was going on with John and Ken, and this is bad stuff. We need to stand up and fight this. So, I really appreciate my council, but also our management for putting this forward and with a 5-0 and to move ahead, and hopefully we'll get much more cities on, so make this even more successful. So thank you guys very much. With that, we have the consent calendar. We're going to close announcements now and move to the consent calendar. As a reminder, the consent calendar is considered routine matters and will be enacted by one motion unless pulled for a separate discussion. Mr. Domer, was there anything pulled from the consent calendar?
There was nothing received or have been pulled earlier today.
Council, anything going to be pulled from the consent calendar by any?
No.
With that, can I?
There's a.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Stephanie. Stephanie, let's open up.
Good evening, Council. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So I did email earlier today, and I apologize if I didn't do it properly. I was hoping to have pulled from the consent calendar number 7, the proclamation and certificate of recognition policy, based on comments that I sent to each of you and some separate discussions with you for further consideration or discussion. Or maybe to be brought back at a later date for a vote after further evaluation of the policy. I don't want to reiterate what I emailed each of you, but my concern is that the language in the proposed policy, while I understand the intent of the policy, that it could be misused or abused to prevent routine proclamations or recognition that I think we would all be supportive of. If they fall under the guise of being, politically controversial, etc. So I put it in more detail in my emails to each of you, but I was just hoping that could be pulled for further discussion or revisited at a later date after additional evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you. Council?
I think for the resident as, I'm sorry, I think for the residents as we've done with other residents, at least pulling it, so then we have discussion on it.
Okay. Then we'll go ahead and pull that. City Manager Gover?
Do you want to vote on that?
We have a motion. Yeah, we've got a motion. We can go ahead and move on to the other one. We'll pull that one, and we'll go ahead with the rest of the consent calendar. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the consent calendar and putting 7 for open discussion.
Second that. Vote please.
That motion carried 5-0.
Then we'll bring back the proclamation certificate of recognition policy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item was requested earlier this year, or at least there was direction provided to kind of bring back some clarification as to how proclamations, certificates of recognition are brought forward to the council. So what I asked staff to do is look at what other cities do. We reached out to the city clerk listserv, which has a lot of different cities on it, find out what type of policies, procedures they do. So what is before you is kind of modeled after what is the commonality of all those processes out there. A little bit of tweaks here and there, but pretty much a policy that we believe is defensible, and the city attorney can speak to that, but one that gives just some coherence to the proclamation policy, differentiates between what a proclamation is and maybe a certificate of recognition. Tonight there's an example because I believe it is for Red Ribbon Week on the consent calendar. We put a proclamation on there that would be presented at the next October meeting. So that's kind of the example of what we would do. There would be a request. If it meets what's in the policy, we would put it on the consent calendar. And then if approved, then it would come back for a presentation at the following week. Though there are some exemptions, some of those natural ones. So at the next meeting, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, other items like that, that would be just brought back because they're more nationwide in effect and recognition. So if there's any questions, both myself and the city attorney are here to answer any questions.
In relation to Mr. Wood's comments, are you aware of the comments he made? What's your thoughts on those as far as what we proposed?
I can understand the comments. I think the intent of the language at issue was really intended to focus on broad, general categories as opposed to an individual perhaps asking for an item to be presented that in itself wouldn't have gained a broad consensus in the community. This is really a discretionary point for the city council to determine. Frankly, I think you would have the same amount of discretion without that language, but I think it's in part hopes to discourage inappropriate requests being made. So that if someone wanted, for example, to say, submit a request for a proclamation condemning, Muslim religion, for example, that would not be an appropriate request to make. But again, this is up to the council. I think it's defensible as it stands. You have a great deal of discretion in approving these requests or rejecting them, as it were. And of course, staff tries to be a gatekeeper to some extent in advance to guide and make recommendations about what proclamations should be brought forward for consideration.
Thank you. Councilmember,
Public comment?
Public comment on this? Anybody have a public comment on this item?
Sorry.
No, that's good, thank you. With that, we'll close public comment. Mr. Crosby?
Yes, thank you, and thank you, Mr. Ward, for bringing this to our attention. After he made his comments today, I was ready to vote on it because I already spoke to city manager about his comments today about it too, and believe because the discretionary piece for our council on anyone is that then we will not be hold tight on the exact language on this where we have to put something on or not have to put something on. It's really discretionary of the council to put those on. So I'm ready to vote on that.
Thank you, Councilmember Crosby.
So it's my understanding that any council member could propose to have a proclamation. I mean, it's public as well, but
Yes.
it doesn't prohibit a council member from asking for it.
Correct.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. Mayor Pro Tem Lau?
Similarly, I did have a conversation with City Manager Domer as well about it, and I feel comfortable with some of the changes that were made to adjust, to make it more discretionary, to make sure that the discretion was allowed in there. My only other comment at this point would be on page 93 under section 5. Under the exemptions, there's just a misspell.
Oh. Try it again.
Should be agendized.
Okay. Thank you. Councilmember Cash, any comments?
No, sir, thank you very much. Appreciate his feedback. Stephen Ward, we're on the email on that, so we're ready to go.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate council's information on that, and I appreciate Mr. Ward's comments, but at the end of the day, we're going to be able to approve or disapprove something as a council body. And I think it's given us the tools that we need in order to be as safe as possible, but also to review stuff that's of importance to many of our community members and organizations. So with that, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Vote, please.
That item was approved 5-0.
Thank you very much. Public Financing Authority. Now we recess to meet as the Public Financing Authority. State the time. It is 7:19 p.m. Do I have a motion for approval of the Financing and Public Authority minutes of August 7th, 2023?
I move to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Vote, please.
That item was approved 5-0.
We'll now move on to the second item, granting an easement to Southern California Edison Company for utility purpose of Valley Rancho Mobile Home Park. City Manager Domer, please call forward staff member who will be reporting on this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to turn this over to Assistant City Manager J.R. Reynolds.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. The attached resolution grants an easement to Southern California Edison for utility purposes at the Valley Rancho Mobile Home Park, which is owned by the La Verne Public Financing Authority. This is very similar to an action that was taken a couple months ago for the gas company easement in the same park. So now we're just coming back. The easement is now ready with Edison, and staff's recommendation is to adopt the attached resolution titled, "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of La Verne, County of Los Angeles, State of California, granting an easement to Southern California Edison Company for utility purposes for 2909 Parallel Highway, otherwise known as Valley Rancho Mobile Home Park."
Thank you, JR. Do we have any comments before I go to public?
JR, these are for the utilities at the park. What about internet and telephone service? Are those also going underground, or those utilities being replaced?
Yeah, specifically, we are trying to coordinate with Spectrum to run, when we have the ground open and trenched, to run that, those types of services as well. There are phone services currently in there, but that park has been lacking with internet service, and has been something we've been working on actually with the council liaisons for the last several years, trying to get that. This provides that opportunity for us to get it in there, because the vendor obviously has been apprehensive about investing in that, but since the trench is already open, it sounds like they're very willing to run that utility for us. And we've certainly made sure that our manager knows that that's a priority for council.
It has been, it's been an issue because people have to use hot spots and that doesn't work for them at all. They have to go to the clubhouse, which is very inconvenient, so we want to make sure our residents and the community are well taken care of, so. Any other comments before we go to public? Any public comment? We're going to open up public comment. Anybody wish to speak on this item? No hands. With that, we'll close public comment. Any further questions, council? Okay, no. Do I have a motion for approval of JFPA Resolution Number 69 granting an easement to Southern California Edison Company for utility purposes at Valley Rancho Mobile Home Park?
Motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
Vote please.
That item was approved 5-0.
Okay, at 7:23 PM, we will adjourn the Public Finance Authority meeting and reconvene to the regular scheduled council meeting. We will now move to on the public hearings. We have one public hearing pertaining to 406 Baseline Road annexation and ordinance establishing a pre-annexation zoning designation. City Manager Domer, please call forward the staff member who will be reporting on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I'm going to bring up Candace Bocock to present this item.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. The applicant, or I guess you didn't state the case number, so case number 74-23 annexation and 93-23 zone change. This is a request by the applicant Deborah Chavez, proposing to annex a 15,000 square foot parcel located at 406 Baseline Road from the County of Los Angeles into the City of La Verne. A pre-annexation zone change is proposed to establish the zoning designation for the site that is currently within the unincorporated Los Angeles County area. Since the year 2000, municipalities have been precluded from extending utility services beyond our established boundaries. The future development of residential dwelling at the subject property will require the need of water from the City of La Verne. The only method by which the city can facilitate this provision of water service to the property entails the annexation of the parcel into the City of La Verne. This is the reason the applicant has filed the annexation application that is before you tonight. The proposal would annex the 15,000 square foot undeveloped site as well as the southern half of Baseline Road from unincorporated Los Angeles County into the City of La Verne and allow the future development of a single-family home with associated infrastructure. The property has a current LA County zoning designation of A1 15,000, which allows for low-density residential today. If annexed into the City of La Verne, the property is proposed to be zoned planned residential, 3 dwelling units per acre, detached. This zoning is consistent with the zoning of adjacent and nearby properties. Although the property is in the county, it is already designated in the La Verne General Plan as low-density residential, which is 0 to 5 units per acre. Therefore, a general plan amendment is not needed and only the zoning designation. The annexation process would officially begin with the Los Angeles Formation Commission, or LAFCO, once the project and environmental determination is approved by the City Council. At the Planning Commission meeting that was held on September 13th, a few members of the public were at that meeting and spoke regarding the safety on Baseline Road, but there were no concerns regarding this specific application. It was explained that the City of La Verne does not have jurisdiction over this area of Baseline Road. Therefore, the Planning Commission approved recommending the project for approval to the City Council. In accordance with the Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, staff is recommending a categorical exemption per section 15319B and 15303A, as the proposed annexation and zoning will only allow for the future construction of a single-family home. It is recommended by staff and the Planning Commission that the City Council, number 1, approve case number 7423 ANX and 93-23CC with categorical exemption from CEQA, together with the LAFCO approval of annexation of this property into the City of La Verne. Number 2, adopt resolution number 23-68, approving the annexation of the property to the City of La Verne. And number 3, adopt ordinance number 1120, which establishes the pre-zoning designation of PR3. The applicant, Mrs. Chavez, is available if you have any questions of her, and I will also be available from staff if you have any other additional questions.
Thank you, Ms. Bocock, appreciate that. Do you have any questions for staff? Yes, please.
Just to be clear, the current zoning is for low density, but the new zoning that's proposed, that would only be available for a single home to be put on that property.
Correct.
Any other questions for staff before we open public hearing? Let's open up the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak on this item? Mr. Henley,
Yes.
please state your name and your address, sir.
I think he did, but.
Did you move since the time you were at the first meeting?
Bill Henley, 4315 St. Mark Avenue, La Verne, California. I'm all in favor of this. I know that sometimes people think I'm not. I'm more concerned with the safety issue of Baseline Road. As we know, there's been a couple unfortunates, a couple fatalities in the last year. One ended up, in my backyard, basically. We're all aware of that. It's difficult. Besides those accidents, there are accidents monthly out there. Sometimes twice in a week. In fact, a couple weeks ago, there was an accident right out in front of the Haynes Center. The parking that's in front of that house right now takes up basically 6 or 7 spots, and then including the house next to it. Where are those 6 or 7 cars going to go? How big is the Haynes Center going to be allowed to be before they just run out of places to park? Occasionally they'll park on our street, and then we have to run them off. There's a little sign that Haynes Center put up. But my major concern is, and I know that Tim and Rick and Cash, I've sent you guys pictures of accidents that have happened on the street. Recent ones. I've taken pictures of how you just can't see when you pull in and out of a driveway. And I know that particular address, and I know the house next to it. The guy lives next door to Deborah Chavez's property, is a friend of mine, and there are times he can't see out of his driveway when he pulls up onto Baseline, because it's going to be an incline up onto Baseline when they pull out of that residence, when that house is built. Listen, to have a custom house built on the other side of Baseline Road where there's nothing, I'm all in favor of it. I love the idea, just like I do on that 19-acre piece that's down the street from me. That brings joy to my heart, because having the only house on St. Mark, and Tim, you guys have been there, you've seen it.
That's joy to your 401k.
It's, I don't like being the solo guy with with that kind of thing going. So, I'm all in favor, and I think that the house next to it is a really nice house too, and I think that the property next to that is also probably at some point will end up being a really nice place to build a house. I've mentioned before, and the Planning Commission kind of rained on the parade a little bit, but when I mentioned putting a crosswalk in at Dawn Avenue or a light, they said there's just not enough outflow on the traffic to do that. I don't care about that. That's a safety item. How in the world else can you cross Baseline Road? You have to go all the way up to Live Oak or all the way down to Fruit Street to cross Live Oak, not just safely, but legally. You have to have a crosswalk. Otherwise, you're just kind of, trying to see around that corner. And we've all been down Baseline. We know that cars do regularly 60, 70 miles an hour. They do. That street's made for that. So a center meeting, we need to figure out who's really going to be in charge of Baseline Road. Is it going to be La Verne? Is it going to be the county? Is it going to be Caltrans? I think that's something that you guys need to jump in and help figure out.
Yeah, we've reached our off topic now.
Okay.
So.
All right, so anyway, I'm all in favor of it. I'm looking forward to a nice, big, beautiful house up there.
Thank you, Bill.
All right?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak on this item? So we're going to go and close public comment and move it up to the dais. Any comments on this item?
Just like that property is going to be used for a single family home rather than any kind of low density. housing and things like that.
That's why I read through it a number of times to make sure, because gosh, knows we've got issues with other stuff, so.
Do we have a restriction on that?
I think it's designated for that. Three per acre, and that's 15,000 square foot, so one house. Yeah. Any other comments or? No? I just have a comment. I appreciate that, Mr. Henley. I think we're all about building beautiful homes, and that's a great spot there. But at the end of the day, too, we want to make sure it's safe for our residents. And I know that Meg McQuaid, our Public Works Director, and I know that we're working with Caltrans and some of the other entities in Los Angeles County that we need to figure out whose property that is there on the main street. I know it's off topic, but the point is the safety of our residents in the Haynes Center. Also that we may need to make it safer for our other residents, whether they're LA County or not, they're still our residents, they still come to our community. So I think it's something we need to, I know we're looking at it now, we need to kind of hammer that down real quick. But I think your development's going to be great. I think it's going to be a great spot there. And like Mr. Henley said, the other 19 acres up there, if we can get that thing through, that's going to be a really pretty site too there. So with that, we need a motion.
And Mr. Mayor, if you do them all together, what I'd like to do.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do we need to?
Yeah, let's do them all together, but what I'd like to do is read the title of the ordinance.
Okay.
So,
you go right ahead.
All right, ordinance number 1120, titled, An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of La Verne, County of Los Angeles, State of California, establishing a pre-annexation zoning designation from the Los Angeles County zoning of A1 15,000 to PR 3D and adopting the PR 3D HDOZ zoning for 406 Baseline Road, APN number 8666-009-033 in the City of La Verne, and finding the ordinance to be categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
Could you repeat that, please? Oh, I'm just kidding. With that, we'd like a motion?
So moved. There you go.
Second, please.
I'll second.
Vote, please.
That motion was approved, 5-0.
Beautiful. We'll now move on to other matters. The first matter we'll be addressing is a request by Sierra Madre Police Department for the loan of the 3 rifles for participation in the Foothills Special Enforcement Team, or FSET, as we all call them. City Manager Bowman, please call forward the staff member who will be reporting.
I'd like to have at the podium, and he's there promptly.
He's there already.
Lieutenant Corey Leeper, thank you, sir.
Expediency, sir. Mayor, City Council, City staff, I'm honored to be here tonight to talk about Sierra Madre Police Department's request from us as La Verne PD to borrow equipment. It's not an unusual request. It's one that we have borrowed equipment in the past from Irwindale and other departments, so it's nothing that's outside the standards normal. In this particular case, Sierra Madre has joined our SWAT team, the Foothill Special Enforcement Team, and they have a need for equipment. So that specific need is a need for equipment that's outlined in AB 41, as I presented to staff earlier in the year. That particular equipment is outlined in the attachment A, which is 3 Colt rifles that we have as excess stock. And so, due to the nature of the request, because AB 41 does outline equipment that does have to be approved by city staff to be loaned out to another department, I come before you to recommend the approval of such rifles to be loaned to Sierra Madre for a period up to 1 year. That being said, as they have ordered new rifles for the department, we've also ordered new equipment for our department as well. Their turnaround is about 3 months, so we expect for their rifles to come in by the end of the year and they have that equipment back to us. With that, I submit to you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Do we have any questions for Mr. Leeper? With that, beautiful. Thank you very much. We're going to open up public comment. Do we have any public comment on this item? With that, we'll close public comment. Back up to the dais. Any comments or questions?
No.
I have one. Sierra Madre has experienced probably the largest bear population of ever. I'm just making sure that this is strictly for their FSET team. Just saying.
No bear hunting?
No, Mr. Johnson. With that,
On that note.
on that note, take a motion.
Motion to approve line item 11 for a loan request by Sarah Monte.
Second?
I'll second.
Vote please.
That item was approved 5-0.
Okay, now in our second other matter is the award contract for the Los Flores Park Aquatic Center Improvement Project. City Manager Domer, please call forward the staff member who will be reporting on this item.
Thank you. It will be.
Mr. Howling.
Before you start,
Yes.
hold please. I will be recusing myself since it does involve.
Oh, this involves the University of La Verne?
Thank you, good point.
Get up there.
I'm out.
Out.
Ready?
Please,
All
yes.
right. So, good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. This item before you tonight, as stated, is the award of contract for the Los Flores Park Aquatic Center Pool Decking Plaster Improvement Project. This evening, it's staff's recommendation that City Council award the Public Works construction contract to California Water Development, Inc., the lowest, most responsive bidder in the amount of $1,330,505 for the stated project. Also, authorize staff to issue change orders not exceeding 15% of the construction budget for a total possible cost of $1,530,081. Excuse me. And finally, adopt resolution number 23-69 appropriating $30,081 from the Park Development Fund to the Los Flores Park Aquatic Center Pool Decking and Plaster Improvement Project. So I have a few items I want to highlight to council for this, and be happy to answer any questions along the way or after, however we want to go. This is a facility, the Los Flores Park Aquatic Center, that received a major overhaul in 1997. So it's been about 25 years since it's really had its deep reconstruction. Work to continue maintaining the pool has gone along the way, as pools do. They take a lot of maintenance. This, however, we're coming up at the end of the service life of the deck, which I'm not sure if you had a chance to visit it, but it is cracking. We are concerned that there might be yielding of the reinforcement. So at this point, it's my recommendation to fully replace the deck. The plaster's also reached the end of its service life, and along with that, we've got quite a bit of tile and all the other things that go along with redoing the pool. So hence, not a cheap project, without saying that. This particular facility has a three-way share, so the City of La Verne is the owner. However, there is an agreement between the city and the University of La Verne and Bonita Unified School District to use the facility, and so within that agreement, the cost for this project, and the cost for all maintenance for that matter, is split equally, a third. So this action tonight with the project is the entire project cost for the contract, but we anticipate that that would be reimbursed once we reach the final actual construction costs, and we can distribute that to our partners on this. Council may recall that earlier this year, we had to reject the bids for this particular work. We had one bid come in. That rejection occurred on January 17th of 2023. I want to highlight that that one bid we rejected was $1.964 million. We did recraft the project scope slightly, removing the shade structures that are actually under construction as we speak. And so I think we're pleased to see that the bids did come in more in line with what we expected. So the engineer's estimate was 1.150. The low bid, and that's for the base scope. The low bid for the base scope is 1.114. So I think these are quality bids in the sense that we've got the price that the market would yield. The other item that I want to point out to council is 15%. So typically we don't ask for 15%. This is 5% over the typical, which is 10%. We have a situation with the pool being that it is a complex project. The pool deck has a number of facilities tied to it. One, for example, is the drainage system is in the pool deck. It is enveloped by the concrete, so that's the liquid coming out and we're rebuilding it. We like to think we know what we're gonna encounter, and we're hopeful that we won't need any of this contingency, but that's not typically how construction goes, so that's why we're requesting the 50%. The other feature of that is timing. So being that this is a heavily utilized facility, we have a very narrow and limited window of time to get this project done. We've already worked with the various departments, the aquatic groups and whatnot to find this window. And so if we have any particular issues, well, we're more than willing to come back to council to ask for those requests. We do have a very limited time that we want to be able to address these quickly and swiftly so we can get the facility back up and running in a timely manner for something. So that concludes my report. I'm available for any questions.
What was the time duration again? How many months was it that's going to be down? It was May to, was it May, I think?
So it is the construction period where we're actually going to be making dust and doing demo and rebuilding is going to be March 24th to May 24th.
That was it, the end was May, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
The contract's going out, obviously, with council's action. If awarded, we would move forward, schedule a pre-construction meeting within the next week to two, get agreements issued, and start working on any long lead time items. So with this, I don't recall what number it is, but we are asking that we replace the 1 meter diving board. That is an additive alternate item that we are requesting. Those things might take a little while, but I don't think it will take that long. We also have to work with the County Department of Public Health on this, so we need to get their permits in order, to get their inspectors satisfied, and of course, have that all happen before summer. So yeah, we're starting right away.
Stuff getting construction, things like that set up, especially with permits, it's just the entities you deal with sometimes are very difficult, or just the time consuming, so.
Many steps, all good reasons, but many steps.
And Mr. Mayor, if I can say also that as part of the fiscal impact in the staff report, it is identified that the city was the recipient of a grant.
That was my next question.
Yeah,
How
state
much was Chris
appropriation.
Holden's?
So we were very fortunate to have Assemblymember Holden, go to bat for us up in the state legislature. He was able to provide $1.5 million for the Las Flores Park. Part of that amount we're going to be using towards the pool because in part of our grant and his appropriation request was the partnership between the University of La Verne and Bonita Unified School District and the city. And so that, enveloped a lot more people being basically provided services by the pool. So we're going to be looking at the amount of that grant based on some of the needs, which is including the south restroom.
The restroom, yeah, the restroom facilities.
At the park. But it could be as close to $500,000, maybe a little bit less. But that is a great help to this project and to all three entities.
That was my next question, was what was the gift that Mr. Holden gave us? That's quite substantial, especially for that. And we need restrooms in this Las Flores Park on the other side, so. Councilmember Johnson.
The heaters were just replaced,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And they're operating.
To my knowledge, yes. I've not heard otherwise.
Mr. Crosby.
2 questions. As though we are parties with 2 other entities, have they approved this project as well, or do they have to approve this project?
So the scope of work has been circulated to the groups. They don't have to necessarily approve the project because it is an action of the city council. But as far as I know, they are in favor of it. We have met with their various staff, and I know Yvonne Duran has worked closely as well as Chad Dickerson to make sure that they're all satisfied, but at least on board with the process that we're moving forward with.
Yeah. And my second question, I know that they talked about the shade structure, try to get some shade around there. I know that pool deck gets extremely hot, especially in the middle of the summer. Is there a material that they can put on top of that deck to so it's not as extremely hot in the middle of the time where it's almost burning the kids' feet running from the shade to the pool area? And I know running's not allowed by pools.
So
that would be no.
There are products out there, whether they dramatically impact surface temperature or not, I can't say that honestly, looks too close into that. There are surface materials that improve friction, so that of course if you happen to be running against the rules, you're not less likely to trip, I suppose. Those are surface applied materials. We can always come back and look at those someday in the future. It's not been something we proposed, obviously cost being a major concern and limited window. So there's other maintenance components with that I don't have a whole lot of direct experience with, but it's certainly something we can look closely into. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Howling. We'll open up the public comment now. Anybody for public comment on this item? Ms. Bochamp. Where are you going to swim and it's closed? Is that what you're going to ask?
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Council. It was an excellent explanation, Cody. I do have some questions about it. I know there was a time, unfortunately, the insurance had lapsed for that facility at one time. So what percentage of an increase or actual cost increase to insurance will this be put onto the city? It's not just these dollars here that are being spent on construction. Granted that we're only paying 33.3% of that, but we also have to factor into insurance costs, increased insurance costs. So I think that needs to be provided as well pertaining to that. And then also what percentage of the contingency is for any damage that potentially could happen to the surrounding area for construction. Truck ran over sprinklers at the park, or when they're doing concrete or something like that. What, because there is an adjacent park that's open, what part of that is separate from, because there's the three entities involved, but Las Flores Park is strictly City of La Verne. How does that factor in? So I'm glad to see there is contingency, because construction, as Mr. Edward knows, there's always increasing costs somewhere along the line, but you have to plan for the accidents that almost always occur in construction. So especially when you're dealing with subcontractors. So they're just really questions for Cody and his team. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyone else wish to speak on this item? We'll go ahead and close public comment. Mr. Howland, you want to respond to those?
Mr. Mayor, there may be, answers that the city attorney and myself, I know that all of our facilities are insured, and then there's extensive, and Mr. Howling can go into that, the pre-construction activity to stage the construction and the, fencing off of areas and all stuff to ensure that safety.
Yeah, I just add before Mr. Howling that we typically require in our contract that if there is damage to city property by a contractor during the course of construction, it is their obligation to repair it. If they don't repair it, we do, and they get billed for it.
Thank you.
Well, it sounds like most of my questions have been answered. Yeah, what we call that is restoration. That's a component of the contract. So if the contractor does damage something, that we work with them to make sure it gets resolved in a way that meets my expectation, as well as city, the public works director and parks facilities, anybody involved with that. So as far as the insurance, I couldn't really go into specifics of changing in rate, but I will say that this is really, at least in my opinion, a maintenance project. We're removing, replacing essentially what is there today. So I don't know how that would impact the insurance, but it is a maintenance project, so we're not adding, we're not changing, we're not deducting. So.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Any other questions for staff, council? I just want to say that this has been a long time coming, and I want to thank Director Duran and her staff, but also our staff. It's been, to say the least, you're dealing with two other entities that this is sometimes difficult, and she makes it seamless, and it's not. And I want to thank our Public Works Director, Meg, also in many ways. But it doesn't happen overnight. This has been something we've needed to do for a long time. I remember the concrete being broken when my son was playing water polo, so that's a long time ago. So we're excited for this. I think it's going to be great as long as all parties can do this. I think it's going to be a great project, and have basically a new pool, new decking, new structures. I think it's fantastic. So thank you. I applaud you and all the staff. Thank you. With that, I need a motion.
Motion to approve item number 12, where everybody has.
There's 3 recommendations. Do we have to do by all?
Yeah, do we need all 3 or just the one?
You can move the staff recommendation.
Staff recommendation. There you go.
Second.
Vote, please.
That item was approved 4-0 with Mayor Pro Tem Lau abstaining. Recusing yourself?
You're back. You ate good stuff. I know, you have more candy. Great. Now we move on to the last other matter, a proposed ordinance regarding obstruction of transportation facilities. City Manager Gomer, please call forward the staff member who will be reporting.
From the police department, it will be Lieutenant Chris Mansfield.
Good evening, Mr. Mansfield.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor, Council. Today we're going to be talking about the ordinance adding Division 4 of Title 12, Transportation Facilities of the La Verne Municipal Code regarding obstruction of transportation facilities. The need to maintain access to public property, particularly transportation facilities, is increasing in this city as the regional rail and bus system expands. Concerns about obstruction of such facilities, including calls for service to the police, have risen, highlighting the need to ensure that bus benches, shelters, transit, and rail stops remain accessible. With the construction of the light rail station, the city is seeking to put in place necessary health and safety measures after review of our current municipal codes. The proposed ordinance adds Chapter 12.60 to the La Verne Police Municipal Code concerning unlawful camping, storage and obstruction of access to transportation facilities, and addresses both current transportation facilities in the city, such as bus stops, and will also protect access to the light rail transit system, which is currently under construction. Concerning transportation facilities, the proposed ordinance would prohibit camping in or on any transportation facility or obstructing such property or immediately adjacent property, blocking access to transportation facilities. Prohibit any persons from occupying any transportation facility for sleeping or living. Prohibit any persons from storing personal property, including camping items, which is tents, huts, any other temporary shelters, cots, beds, sleeping bags, bedrolls, in or on any transportation facility within the city. It also prohibits any persons to erect a tent in or upon transportation facilities, and prohibit any person from storing any bulky items in or about transportation facilities. The city currently provides multiple outreach and engagement programs for unhoused residents. The city works directly with Tri-City Mental Health, the San Gabriel Valley COG, and La Cata. During the city's 2023 point-in-time count, which was conducted in late January of 2023, 6 unsheltered individuals were counted. Based on local settlement agreements with Los Angeles and Orange County, which follow the Barton versus Boise case, La Verne currently contracts for enough beds for the homeless persons. Staff recommends that the City Council waive further reading of the ordinance and place on first reading ordinance 1121, amending Chapter 12 of the La Verne Municipal Code by adding Division 4, Chapter 12.60, to regulate camping and storage of personal property or bulky items in or upon transportation facilities in the city. Does anybody have any questions?
Very smooth. Thank you. Do you have any questions for Mr. Lieutenant Mansfield?
Yeah, LT, I have one question. That's only on or adjacent, not any other zone around it, right?
It's anything that accesses, that affects transportation. So a good example would be the bus stop,
Okay.
at or near the bus stop. Anything that prevents any access to a transportation. So when we get, when the train, the light rail comes through.
Sure.
You know, any access to the platform, anything like that. Anything that affects transportation. The sidewalk near the bus stop.
It's not, let's say within 100 feet or 200 feet, we can have that looked at only specifically to that.
It affects access to the transportation.
Yeah, I can weigh in on that too. Yeah, we can't make it every public space, we can't make it every sidewalk.
Sure.
But this really is either in or immediately adjacent. So if you have, for example, somebody with camping materials or whatever,
Yeah.
right next to the bus bench or a bus stop or a transit stop where it actually prevents people from getting in there and using it, that would be prohibited, even if it's not in the bus stop itself.
So it wouldn't affect the advanced infrastructure district, all the improvements that we've made to those sidewalks, or you think that's too far away from the?
Only, this is limited in scope to the actual transit stops.
But also, we've reviewed our overall codes, and this is kind of a hole that was in the code, so this is a patch. We do believe we have sufficient ordinances on the book to look at other issues if there was like a blocking of a sidewalk or camping in other public spaces along step within the applicability of the law, so.
Correct.
This was the hole that we're now filling in with.
It kind of gets into the realm of trespassing also, so kind of adding to that with our local businesses and things like that. So we're just adding this in as a, especially with what we've got coming, so, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
I think we'll open up, thank you. I have some more questions. If we can open up public comment, is there any public comment on this item? Gary?
Shopping carts, you left that off the, I'm sorry.
No, Gary.
You listed everything on there from shopping carts. These homeless being all over the place. You might want to add that in there.
That would be considered a bulky item and would be prohibited.
Would be prohibited from,
Yes.
okay, so it's a bulky item, so that's included in the bulky item.
Okay, no, but then sit down and shut up.
Thank you, Gary. Ms. Beauchamp.
Good evening, Council, again. I have questions. What would the infraction be upon the individual that is posing this threat or blockage to the transportation? Is it an arrestable offense? Is it just a citation? And who is going to be implementing it? Will it be officially La Verne Police Department, or would it be the host program? Questions I'd like to know. Because I feel like, you know, La Verne PD's got their hands full, especially with the increase in crime. I know our host program is, you know, only so many individuals available during certain shifts, and so I don't know, maybe if it's not an arrestable offense, that, you know, some other kind of homeless outreach through the county or San Gabriel Valley can offer individuals to help relocate these people in a peaceful manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Beauchamp. Anyone else on public comment? Mr. Gill?
In certain circumstances, I know on Foothill right now, we actually have some individuals that are currently living on some bus stops on Foothill Boulevard. And we don't see the cops moving them at all. And I know it's not La Verne, it's actually San Dimas, which is kind of sad. And if these people are cited and they leave and they come back, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen here. That's what's really going to be really interesting. Because are they just going to move to another bus stop? I mean, if this is just going to continue to grow, and we've already know we've got more issues coming that we're going to deal with. Hopefully we can stop it. But we're just seeing a problem in its infancy. And we need to figure out the best way for the best solutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gill. Anyone else wish to speak on this item? We'll go ahead and close public comment. Can we answer a couple of those questions regarding the homeless situation?
I'll give it a shot, and then Mr. Demmer may want to weigh in as well, Mr. Mayor, and members of the council. Yeah, typically, this would be an infraction if they refuse to move, but we certainly would start with reaching out and having the homeless services reach out to the individual and offer those services. If we find things that we have to remove that are blocking, the notice would be posted, and that material would be kept as required by law, and available to be returned to the individual. We don't return shopping carts because they don't belong to the individual who may have been using them. We would return them to the actual owner. Other than that, we can't really do anything about the San Dimas bus stops. We can only control what's in our own jurisdiction.
And just for the public education, and there's a whole protocol that needs to be gone through if there is somebody within a transportation center that or a shelter that meets everything within this ordinance. So a lot of it is through our contacts with OCADA, with San Diego Valley COG and the CARE program, with our own LEAP team. Here, basically, you go out, you address the situation, you offer services, you check to see if there's a bed, and it's only after that extensive process that if the person continues to refuse, then they are subject to the infraction. This comes from basically the settlement agreements through Judge Carter's issue. Everybody knows Federal Judge Carter has settlement agreements with many cities now in LA. Kind of started in Orange County with the Anaheim Santa Ana River issue. I was part of that when I was in Fullerton, so know well and wanted to make sure that we hit all that criteria that he had put into all those settlement agreements. And that is the process that our officers and our outreach and engagement personnel do to address the situation. Because again, homelessness itself is not a crime, but our goal is to make sure that these people can get into adequate shelter and get the services they need. But there is a process, we will follow that. And at the end, if they continue to refuse, then there is a citation.
Thank you. Lieutenant Bransfield, do you have anything to add to that as the host team?
No, Mayor, I think all the questions were answered.
Okay, because I know that part of this is also storage, and I know we have that now. Storage of their belongings if a situation occurs, the host team comes out, so. Yeah, I think it's just a nice addition to what we have already to do this, and I think our most important thing too right now is with Metro to make sure that the trains are not only safe but clean, and also the cities behind us that have been experiencing this over the last many years, from the inception of the station in downtown LA all the way through, that something drastically needs to be done about that, and we're going to seriously push on that, being on the COG, but also on the Gold Line Board, that it's safety is the most important thing. They had another couple issues over the weekend, and so, it's coming to our town, and it's coming fast. It's 2025, that's just around the corner, so we don't have a lot of time, but I think this is a great step to push to be able to protect our station areas, our bus stations and all that. But any questions for Mr. Bransfield, anybody? Or?
Just appreciate it.
Thank you for bringing that forward. Thank you. With that, we have a motion to approve and waive further reading of ordinance number 1121, adding Division 4 of Title 12, Chapter 12.60 of the La Verne Municipal Code pertaining to transportation facilities.
So moved.
Second?
That's it.
Vote please.
That item was approved 5-0.
Beautiful. We now move to public comments. Public comments and oral communications, a time set aside for anyone wishing to address the City Council on items not listed on the agenda. I want to remind everyone that the Brown Act prohibits the City Council from talking or engaging in discussion on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. However, your concerns may be referred to staff or set for discussion at a later date. There is a, well, forget about 3 minutes. At this time, those who are wishing to make comments not listed on the agenda and are here at chamber can come up to the podium. Please state your name and record. Ms. Beauchamp.
I wanted to thank each and every person on this dais for having that closed session meeting and voting 5-0 in favor of aligning yourselves with the additional cities to fight the zero cash bail. I think that is a big decision, and I think it's a sign of what has come to our city. You know, it wasn't that long ago that our council only voted 3-2 with the vote of no confidence in Gascon. And even though he's still in office, unfortunately, because of the crime that has come to our city, and it's been violent at times, as we've seen at Rodeo Jewelers and other places, that it's necessary for our council to support the residents and really put forth the effort of keeping the residents safe. So I want to personally thank everybody that was involved with that decision and that meeting. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Beauchamp. Anyone else wish to speak? Public comment? Mr. Gill?
Unless he wants to go.
You're next, Gary. No, you're, Gary's waiting. He's gonna.
I just wanted to find out if anybody had any current status of what was going on with the 740 project. I know I haven't heard much myself, but I'm hearing from other cities about other installations that they're fighting as well. Buildings that are going up in Sherman Oaks. I know that Hacienda Heights is still fighting for against Works, and Claremont is fighting. And this is becoming a major issue because it's not really a homeless, it's a money-making process. These nonprofit agencies are making millions of dollars off of this homeless process, and it's amazing. Last week when we were at a meeting with the assistant DA, he was even amazed at how much money is being made by these companies. We have to understand that these buildings that are being made and being used by these companies are not being built for the right reasons. And these companies are going to keep on coming. Now the 740 project, we're still going to fight, and we're going to continue fighting. But that's in San Dimas. La Verne may still have a fight yet to come. And people have to understand that. Because like you said, there is open land available. And that land can be taken by the state, as it was in Glendora. The state can come and say, we want that land, and we want it used for housing. So we have to be careful, and we have to think about what's going on. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Gill. Anyone else wish to speak? Oh, Gary, and then.
I brought this up after last night, Halloween. Are you going to block off Bonita this year? Because there's a lot of kids crossing that street back and forth. I don't know if you said you were going to talk about it. We never heard back from you. And the other one on Fruit Street, that closed up school. Please tell me they're not going to build more houses in there. Is that
the Haynes Center?
It's going to be a mess down there. That project they got going down there, it looks ugly. So if you answer me that, I'm going to go back and sit down and shut up. I appreciate it.
You got it, sir. Thank you.
I agree with you, Gary.
Anyone else?
City Council. Wayne Perry, 4744 Esperanza. I would like to point out what I believe is a shortcoming when it comes to the city website. And the genesis of my comments was that I contacted Mr. Mayor and Cash about the fact that last time you guys announced the copy with a cop, and I went on, I wasn't sure I heard it. I went on the website, looked all over, not a single place was it. And it was commented during the meeting by Mr. Domer that it was on the website. I couldn't find it. I think I'm pretty swift about doing that, but I couldn't find it. And then I wasn't prepared to talk, so excuse me if I ramble a little bit, but I see here we've got six events coming up. I quickly looked at trying to find these, and not a single one is on the website of anywhere. So you've got one coming up on Saturday. How do we have people going to these things, knowing about going to these things, when they aren't available but here? And how many people look at this? So I would ask that maybe we should look into getting, what I would want is either the front page or a section of the front page when you first log into the website, the city's website, that says something like city news, city events, that kind of thing that comes up immediately.
She's pulled it up just as you were talking.
Okay. I hope I'm wrong, honestly.
Well, I mean, it's on the website. We actually have a calendar right there.
Yeah.
And does it populate at the first part of when you pop it open?
But is there anything about the vendor on Saturday?
Should be October 7th. No?
No. That's what I did. I thought, I'd like to see what that is.
Okay.
It's not there.
Well,
So I would like to see it not buried under all these menus and stuff. There's something really out front that says, hey, here's what we're doing. If you notice on the website, under residents, special events, we still have the 4th of July for this last year on that. We have trunk or treat, and that's it. And nothing else is there. So all I'm asking is that maybe we need to rethink, if the city wants people to go to these things, they have to know about it. And we need to make it as simple as possible, and to me, that would be, put it up front, okay? So of the 6, like I just said, I can't find a single one, so there's obviously a shortcoming here. And along those same lines, I would like to also suggest that under new events, city news, however you want to put it, we also do a little bit of business-friendly part to this. How about announcing new businesses? We've got this cookie place coming up here. I don't know what it is, but I understand it's a cookie place. That would be nice to know. And if they could get maybe 100 more customers than they would have gotten had nothing been said, they might survive when they've been failed. The new pharmacy over there at Panera, that's, and maybe even, if you want to even go further, how about businesses that close? We're losing 99-cent store, right? Does anybody know about that? I didn't. So I'm just trying to say that I think we need to be more upfront about the information we provided to the citizens in an easily found place. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perry.
Good job.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on public comment? Mr. Henley. State your name and your,
Thanks for, thank you. You guys, I just wanted to compliment our police department here. Actually, the residents of La Verne have no idea how fortunate they are to have the police and fire departments being city run like this. For example, the annexation that we were talking about earlier, she'll be able to call the La Verne Police Department, the La Verne Fire Department. You have no idea how much better they are than having to wait for the Sheriff's Department to show up. But I was going to bring up an incident that I saw about 2 weeks ago. Somebody tried to set up a taco stand over there by In-N-Out Burger. Now, there's always a taco stand over there in Pomona, over there by the drugstore on the corner of Foothill and Town Avenue. There's always something going on over there. Nobody bothers them. I guess nobody cares that they're in front of other businesses that pay for those parking spots. But the La Verne Police Department came out there and very professionally, you guys did a great job. you shut them down and got them out of there before they could take up any precious parking for any of those stores that are trying to survive. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. You guys have a great city here. And I'm very happy to be part of that. My family is all in La Verne. They've always been in La Verne. Kids have all gone to school. My nieces and nephews have all gone to La Verne, Bonita High School. So it's a great town to live in, and part of it is the polite police and fire department being locally and not county. So anyway, thank you for keeping that forward.
We have to annex you.
Well, that'd be nice. We tried that once before. I got all those signatures out and nothing happened 20 years ago.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Anyone else on public comment? We'll go ahead and close public comment, and what, we got something?
Oh, there's a hand up.
Oh, he's got a hand up. I didn't see it.
Good evening, Council. I just wanted to say thank you for the additional discussion on the proclamation policy that we pulled earlier. It answered my questions about the discretionary nature of it and reassured me of the ability to continue moving forward with proclamations such as those for Pride Month or Veterans Month, recognizing veterans, et cetera, things that folks might find controversial, but I'm glad that the city still has the discretion to do so. The other thing I did want to note is probably an unpopular opinion, but I did want to encourage the council to maybe revisit participation in the lawsuit that was voted on last week in closed session. While I understand the desire to appear tough on crime and the concern about public safety, I'm not sure that the institution of secured cash bail makes us any safer. I think it just allows those who have money to have a different set of justice than those who don't. And what we're talking about are pre-arraignment release protocols for non-violent, non-serious felonies and misdemeanors, where folks who have been arrested but not convicted and at times not even charged with a crime, being forced to sit in jail for days or even as long as a week simply because they're too poor to afford bail. As the presiding judge said when announcing this, a person's ability to pay a large sum of money should not be the determining factor in deciding whether that person who is presumed innocent stays in jail before trial or released. So I understand the concern about crime. I get wanting to take tough positions, but I'm not sure that pushing back against bail reform, which has found to have a positive impact. In fact, the Judicial Council of California found an actual reduction in rearrests for felonies and misdemeanors for those in systems where the cash bail was eliminated or secured cash bail was. So it's just something I'd like to reconsider, maybe have some experts on the system come in and talk to you, maybe do a study session on it. I understand the desire to work quickly. I know our city attorney drafted the lawsuit. It's very well written, so I understand and appreciate the intent. I'm just not sure the statistics back it up. I think numerous academic studies, peer-reviewed academic studies have shown that cash bail just creates a two-tiered system of justice for the poor and the wealthy. And keeping folks jailed and caged simply because they can't afford to get out of jail for crimes that they haven't been convicted of and half the time aren't even charged for, I think is not necessarily the best approach. So I understand that's probably an unpopular opinion in this chamber and these days, but I did just want to voice that and encourage you to revisit and consider maybe doing a study session with some of the experts in the area. And I'm happy to work with you on connecting you to some of those folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Anyone else wish to speak public comment? With that, we'll close public comment, bring it up to the dais. Do you want to answer a few of those questions, Mr. Domer? I know that Gary had some questions about closing Bonita during Halloween and.
That one I will have to talk to staff about because I don't believe I was here when that was brought up originally. So I'll chat with staff afterwards and find out what the issue was, and what we may or can or cannot do about that.
Might be a tough one, but.
And then also just on, website issues, yeah, we're always looking to better our ability to communicate with the public, and so we'll look at that. I know we have an issue with the calendar and some community events. We try to put as many as possible. We also, through social media, will share through our various social media accounts other people's, because we can't populate all things community related on our city webpage, but we do look to make sure that we can get as many as possible on there, and most certainly our own events. So, but as you know, we struggle to reach everybody who wants to hear about something that we're doing, but we will always try on that.
He had another question regarding the Lutheran High School.
Oh, yes, Gary, on that. On Lutheran High School, did reach out to the broker. We do expect, they haven't put it out on the commercial services like LoopNet and other things yet. Every time we do talk to them, we talk and tell them that we do not want residential, that we'd like for them to, work with other private schools to locate there, because it's a great facility and also we use it. So, but it is not yet out there that I'm aware of and have not been informed, and when we've looked on the net, have not seen it yet on the commercial sites. So, but it should be forthcoming.
And it's currently zoned?
It is zoned public institutional, so it would have to go through a complete rezoning to change it to anything residential.
And I was going to mention too, the fact is that we're merging a lot of all of our departments together to get communication together, so that we post something on the website, kind of everybody's in sync, and that's coming together now. So, but it's never going to be perfect, but I think we've come a long way in a very short period of time, at least. But we appreciate the comments, because it's important that we get this information out, because we want it to be successful, especially this one on Saturday. Yeah. It's a great event. It really is.
And what I would recommend is everybody, you can get email notifications about agendas, about community events, about applications. So if you go to cityoflaverne.org/notify, you'll be directed to that page. You can put in, what those events you want to be notified about, and that's the easiest way, because then you're getting either a text message or an email message, and it helps us get more information out there.
740 project.
Oh, and actually that I don't have any update right now. Always checking in with the sources with Supervisor Barger's office. It's not going forward on their agenda.
Which is the NOFA funding for the $7 million, right?
Correct, yeah.
6.2.
Yeah, it's been.
It's been reduced because of the numbers.
Yeah, the original was $7 million. The concept that they introduced to the joint city council meeting reduced the amount of units from, I believe it's 54 down to 43, so that reduced the potential NOFA award to the $6.2 million. But again, that's not going forward on the supervisor's agenda, so we hope it stays that way.
We'll keep our ear to rail on that one, because I know that it changes, but they're not going to approve the funding. Hopefully that will help us to have some time. So. Council comments. Mr. Crosby.
Just want to, we recognized Candy Kelly today, and that she'll have a booth on this Saturday out there. She helps donate things for the K-9 project and things like that too, so appreciate it. I just want to highlight, I know Ms. Beauchamp, you said at the last council meeting on October 14th, they're doing the 15th, they're doing a 740 rally fundraiser, so I want to make sure that, I know you didn't say it today, but
I should have, I got so consumed, I apologize.
I gotcha.
Thank you.
And then for our community events, the Halloween Hop is coming, and you need to register for students or children with disabilities. It's coming Friday, October 27th. And then our Halloween Carnival at the La Verne Community Center. Also, you need to register with them, and that's on Saturday, the 28th. And again, thank you to our residents that actually asked for putting this on our agenda. It's really become very helpful, even to me, that I get sent everything, but keep it all in one spot as well. This is a great place to help with communication, so really appreciate the resident that asked for it and that the city followed through.
Thank you, Councilmember Darrell. Councilmember Cash.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. It's a friendly reminder to please don't forget to support our great police and fire department during the Peak Patch Month. You know, I lost my mother to cancer, and it was in October. And so it's really important to me that we continue to support those folks that are going through this process, horrible disease. So I look forward to having that walk. I guess with the firefighters we're going to hopefully host sometime this month. I guess the date's going to be to be determined. Appreciate the having all those events on that last page, and thank the city staff for sending me. Thank Andrea for all those great emails. And I appreciate that because I could put it on my calendar and I could, at least try to attend as many events as I can. I was there on Saturday, support our local jewelry shop, Amazing Rodale Jewelers. Definitely supported them. My wife's happy. It cost me money. That's okay. I always walk out more for them than I can for myself, but that's just how I go. And appreciate that. And I really appreciate also the chief of police, Sam Gonzalez, for his feedback and information that we had during the sessions regarding this that zero bail, which hopefully we continue to fight and win. And with that, I thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you all. We have an amazing city attorney. Fight, win, right? That's right. Thank you.
Councilmember Johnson.
I very much understand the sentiment regarding the zero bail and people on both sides of that issue. My wife is one that would prefer that we would not proceed with that, but I think for the safety of our citizens, it's imperative that we put up a stand. Other than that, I'd just like to thank staff for their work with the Pink Ribbon Week. I think breast cancer is something that affects us all. So again, kudos to staff in that regard. Camp Off Page seems to be in the news again, and there's no decisions apparently made on that as to what's happening to those camps.
Not yet.
It's coming.
Not yet. It's coming. I think tomorrow we're going to have a global plan that's going to discuss it, and County Board of Supervisors. But I think there's going to be a forward detailed plan. It's going to come out tomorrow, hopefully. If not, in the following week. I'll brief you guys if I can hear anything right away.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. Mayor Pro Tem Lau.
So a couple of things just to start off. Just thank you to staff for all of the amazing presentations, the Pink Patch Project, all of the things that everybody is doing. I think it's really important that we recognize how breast cancer can affect so many of us. I also wanted to send a shout out to Christy and the finance department. I know it's on the consent items, but the investment policy, the red lines, I hope that made it easier for anybody else that was looking at the agenda as well. That you could see what the differences were, what the changes were, and hopefully simplify that process. So I just want to give thanks about that. I also wanted to report out that I attended the League of California Cities Conference, September 20th through the 22nd. It's a conference where elected officials throughout the state are able to attend, and I know some of my fellow council members, I believe the mayors attended in the past, but it's a great opportunity to meet some of the other electeds from other cities within the state who are facing very similar issues to what we are, and it's an opportunity to determine, what path forward can we make, and on what items can we collaborate. So I think it's it's something that I know many of my fellow council members have attended other conferences or are engaged in other meetings, and I think that's an important thing to be highlighted, that in this role, while you may just see us, at events throughout the city or maybe, on the dais here, every couple of weeks, we're also out and about in other spaces and places trying to make sure that we're as educated as we can be in leading the city. I also wanted to note that for those of you that are interested, Tri-City Mental Health Authority is hosting community forums in the coming weeks. One will be virtual and one will be in person, and the goal of these community forums is to address issues that impact the community, ways in which they can improve service to our communities, and how they can better share out their resources. So the in-person community forum is happening on October 17th, and it'll be from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the community center here. And then if you can't make it in person, there is a virtual option, which is on October 19th, and that's from 10 to 11:30 a.m. And if you go to their website, you can register with the Zoom and find all that. So you'll have that information readily available. And then just a couple of other things, just a reminder that in addition to all of the other things that are happening in October, we are inaugurating our newest president at ULV on October 13th. And that is also the start of homecoming weekend. So for any Leos that are present or that are listening and watching, please come home and see all your family. I call it my other Christmas because it's an opportunity to see so many people that you don't get to see regularly. There's also a ULV golf tournament at South Hills Country Club on October 23rd. So for any of you that are golfers, the proceeds from that tournament goes to student scholarships. So really good cause and a fun day. It should be a fun day. So I'm hoping to see some of my fellow council members out on the links. I will not be good, but I know other people on this dais will be good. So they're gonna have to carry the day. And then just a shout out, I don't know who owns these houses, and I don't know if you've seen them, but there's two amazing there's a lot of amazing houses in Laverne. But there are two really cool houses on Bonita. One is the Barbie Dream House, and the other one is Mars Attacks. And I just have to commend our residents for the creativity and just the amount of work and effort, because that's one of the reasons why Bonita is so highly frequented for trick-or-treating, is because the houses are fun. It's really cool, and I'm an adult and I still think it's awesome. I can only imagine as a kid how much wonderment that is. So thank you to those residents that are bringing a little bit more magic into the city. So as always, be kind and have a good week.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Lau. Thank you, Council. I want to also thank the Council, but I also want to thank Acting Chief Gonzalez and also our attorney and also our city manager for the vote on the zero bail for the lawsuit. I know that it's probably a sensitive subject with most, but we need to stop it. We need to stop it now. If we don't stop it, we're just going to have more and more issues. So, Taste of La Verne.
Oh, yeah.
October 18th. Is that on there? Yeah. No, it's not. No.
See that?
Mr. Perry.
See?
Got him.
Oops.
Got him. Got him.
Well, we're trying. We're doing good. Taste of La Verne's October 18th. That'll be over at the hangar. I think tickets are $50. 50 per person.
October 18th, what time?
It starts at 5, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I also want to thank Acting Chief Gonzalez for Coffee with a Cop. That was cool. I really did enjoy that. The residents enjoyed it. I think, obviously, maybe we need to get it out a little sooner, but there was a good crowd that came, but there would be more if we had more of the, notifying it. But a great turnout, and I really appreciate that. It just makes, as we stated, Mr. Henley stated, makes our community even more special. The fact that we're all approachable in this community. I don't care who you are, police officers, public works, city management, fire, it doesn't matter. We're all approachable, and that's very important for our community. To kind of tail back on what Councilmember Johnson was talking about, and also Councilmember Cash, the supervisors voted on a new deputy chief in the probation department, approved a new deputy chief. They're working out the salary right now. The chief. And then obviously they'll be putting people in in place of the other people. And this is something that we really need in Los Angeles County, is someone with a new direction, because our probation department needs the help. There's also discussion on the new, as he stated, regarding the future of Applebaugh Page, it looks more favorable for us than what it was looking at before, making that an intake facility. Now it looks like they're going to stick with their original plan, which is possibly to temporary shut down Page and then have Athabasca, the normal intake for non-SYTF youth. But that's very good news for us. But ultimately, we would love to see that facility closed completely and make it into a fire camp or make it into a learning center, something that would suit the needs of our community much better. But this is good news. So we keep tracking that. I know that Ms. Beauchamp's tracking it, but with that, I also want to thank Krista Lopez. Councilmember Crosby and myself were on that committee for the investment policies. Ever since I got on this council in 2015, I said, what are we doing with this money? Why are we keeping this money in accounts that make 0%? Things have changed now, obviously, with treasuries and all the way that the financial system's going. So hopefully we'll be recouping some money on top of what we're investing in this new strategy that Ms. Lopez, Director Lopez, is involved with. So we're very happy about that. So kudos to her for bringing it to us and the people that we're using for that, and also our city manager Domer, who realized that this is a big issue. So everything comes through him down through everyone on the staff. So with that, thank you all for being here. We got a lot of stuff in October. Obviously, we didn't taste of La Verne. What's that? Your birthday's not on there either. God, that's everything.
Mr. Mayor, I looked it up. It's $45.
It's 45.
As long as the tickets are purchased prior to October 16th.
If you're purchased
After
later,
that, it's $60.
$60. That's a fun event. You guys need to go. It's great. It's a great time. Great restaurants. So, with that, now we recess to closed session. We have a closed session. Do we not? Recess to closed session for conference with legal negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. Negotiator, city manager, assistant city manager, and city attorney. Employee organizations, La Verne City Employees Association, and La Verne Police Officers Association. Our next regular meeting of La Verne City Council is scheduled for Monday, October 16th, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. As a reminder, vacancies on city boards, commissions, and committees, and upcoming events and meetings are posted on the last page of the City Council agenda. 2 of these application periods close at the end of this week, so if you're interested, please get your application for these positions. That would be the IFD, and that would also be on the Active Transportation Committee. So,
Measure
LB is what's open.
It's not actually.
We did ATC.
oh, we did, I'm sorry. There's been a lot of vacancies. Measure LB, sorry. We have an open Measure LB, not the Active Transportation Committee.
Do we expect a report out in closed session?
No, just wait now. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Recess 8:39 p.m.